Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to unjam a Dymo Express label maker. These things are great. If you don't have one, I recommend getting one. Typically my parents had one, my grandparents had one, so it's just a handy tool. It doesn't require batteries. I'm sure you've seen this by now if you have Instagram or TikTok about the labeling craze. So if you haven't encountered a paper jam yet, eventually you might. So this video will help you learn how to take apart your machine, unjam it, and put it back together as well. I couldn't seem to find a video that was helpful, so I decided to make one for you guys. Stay tuned. Okay, so first what you're gonna need is either a small to medium size Phillips head screwdriver, or I found it more practical and easy to kind of feel catching the screw head because they're relatively small. They're going to be on the bottom of your machine right here, to use a small like little flathead, but it's up to you guys. Whatever you find works best. So what you're going to do first is, I'll just go ahead and take the tape out and close that up. And you'll find two small Phillips head screws at the underside of your machine. So we'll go ahead and take those out. And lefty loosey, righty tighty. So just go ahead and remove the two. Put them to the side. It doesn't matter what order they go in. It's like the same screw. So don't worry if you get them confused. They're the same screw. So that's two screws. And then what you're gonna do is, once you have the screws out of your machine, you're going to essentially, I found it easier to open the carriage where you put the tape and kind of just work it apart. It might be a little bit hard at first, but you're gonna want to work it until you feel it kind of come apart like that. So basically the head of your machine will come off, and this is what the inside kind of looks like. You don't really want to mess with anything in there, so we'll just set that down. And so on the underside of your cartridge, you're gonna see this little tab, and essentially this is where your paper is jamming. So what you can do is take either tweezers, or I found it helpful to just put my flathead in there and remove the paper jam. You're just gonna wanna scoop it out of this little runway, essentially, from where it's jamming. This is the piece that was causing me issues. It's so tiny, but I didn't find a way that I could remove it without taking apart the machine. So once you remove that paper jam, you're just gonna wanna put it back on to your machine. You kind of want to align these, well, not kind of, you want to align these screws on each side of your cartridge head. I call it cartridge head. Your wheel. You're going to want to line it up with these little scoops right here. So essentially the top of the machine will fit into these little scoops, just like that. And once you hear it click in, kind of align your machine back in there, and it should pop all together like that. You might have to fiddle with it a little bit if you've had your machine for a long time and never have taken it apart. It can be a little challenging to kind of put it back together. If your machine comes apart too wide when you go to take the head off, sometimes you'll have to like there's a spring right at the base inside that you'll have to kind of push down so it goes into its holder. I can show you guys that if you want me to. Leave a message in the comments and I can definitely walk you through that. But your paper should be unjammed by now. Your machine is back together, so we'll just put the screws back in their holes and see what happens. Righty-tighty. And then I'll just show you guys how to load it as a refresher. You basically want to have your wheel like this, and then you'll push it in as such. And then you kind of want to give it feed it through and kind of give it a couple clicks. Till you see it coming out the top. And also another tip, if you're finding that your letters aren't embossing as hard as they should or they're off, you just want to make sure your arrows on the side here, that they're lined up, because they can get a little misaligned once you've been rotating for a while. So yeah, just make sure those are aligned, your cartridge is fed, your paper is unjammed, you should be ready to label. I hope that video was helpful for you guys to resolve your paper jam issues and that you can get back to your labeling projects. I know how frustrating it can be to have a tool break midway through a project, especially something as tedious as labeling. So please shoot me a message or leave a comment if you're having trouble putting your machine back together and need further assistance, or if you found this video helpful. I would appreciate feedback. So bye guys, and thanks for watching. See you later.